Good morning, and welcome to the April edition of the Kingdom Builders newsletter. I want to thank all the support we have. I always like to start with thanking the support we have from all our family, friends, loved ones for supporting this ministry all through the years. This is the April edition of the newsletter, and next month will be the final edition for this season, continuing the season, finishing out with marriage. I want to continue the series on marriage, but this event this month had me digress to another event that I want to discuss in this edition of the newsletter. Um, this past Easter, me and the family went to visit my daughter in Virginia, and during the trip we went to Washington D.C. to visit the King Memorial. We've been wanting to visit that memorial for a long time since it's been built. And we finally got the opportunity when we went to Virginia to see my daughter Rachel in the military. So we took a trip of that Saturday, and it was a wonderful event. It was a life changing event. It was an experience that I'll never forget. We as a family has discussed it, and we think it's one of our better vacations we've took across the years. It was a wonderful experience, and I want to start off in introduction to the newsletter that you can see. Visit myfatherbusinessfellowship.org and visit it'll be on our website. And also, if you're on our email list, you'll get it this evening. My wife will be sending out the emails to all our friends and family to get the email list emails of the newsletter that'll be coming out this evening. I want to start with a quote from Harriet Tubman. She said, "I freed thousands of slaves. I could have freed thousands more if they had known they were slaves." And that was a powerful and interesting quote to me because, you know, if they had known they were slaves, she said, you know, wow, that's telling me that we can be in a condition that we be in, and not even know it, not even know that we slaves. So that got me to thinking, um, looking at us today in 2012, do we really know our condition? Do we really understand our situation? If somebody was coming along like a Harriet Tubman to free us, or to liberate us, or to help us today, will we even know? Because what she's saying here, they didn't have the mindset to be free. They didn't have the free mentality. They had the opportunity, but they didn't have the mindset. And so when we look at our nation today and our world today, it really makes you take a step back and wonder, you know what? What's my mindset? What 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 am I about? Am I open enough to really be free from the chains of my own mentality, the chains of my own upbringing, my own past, my own history, to be free to get better? So as we visited the King Memorial, it was so moving because that generation, which I believe, and I will believe to my great, it's the greatest generation that ever lived, they changed the world because of the sacrificial spirit they have. They're not benefiting from none of the things that they went through. The world that King lives is a total different world than we live in today. And we have to understand that, you know, the memorial bears his names, but there's so many more faceless people, nameless people that we'll never know that helped him in the movement, you know. But the key is it was that sacrificial spirit that they had willing to give. Martin Luther King was a PhD at 26 years old. He could have been anything he wanted to be. He could have made as much money as he wanted to make. But he sacrificed because the gift that God gave him, he sacrificed all that he could be for us. And he's personally not benefiting from none of the things that he went through. And that's a powerful testimony to what we're dealing with today in America and where we are as a nation and we're as a church. And I have decided, and it's been coalescing in my mind a long time ago, and a long time now, you know, I am tired of religion. Now, I hesitated because I know it's going to sound funny to some of y'all. I'm tired of it. Religion don't work. You know, we sit down and have, you get these preachers together, Church of God in Christ, Baptist, Pentecostal, Lutheran, Episcopal. I'm trying to get everybody to know this master. All of them. It don't matter what your brand is. And we sit down and discuss religion. We're going to have a debate. We're going to have an argument. We're going to disagree. We're going to get mad. And nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. But when I look at this generation, the King generation, the right generation, That didn't matter to them. They looked at the bigger picture. They looked at humanity. That's what we got to understand. Humanity is the cause. If we sit around and discuss religion, the only thing we're going to do is debate, argue, fuss, and fight. But when I get a call, or when I call somebody and they're sick, or something's going on in their marriage, or they lost their job at work, or whatever, you know what I found looking back on it? We never discuss religion. We don't discuss if they're Baptist, or Methodist, or Church of God in Christ, or Pentecostal, or Lutheran, or Episcopalian, Mormon, Jehovah's Witness, you name it. It's amazing how I've never had a discussion with somebody call when they're sick and want prayer. Say, Bishop, pray for me. We never talk about religion. Or my marriage is hurting, and I'm getting ready to go divorce course. We never discuss religion. It's all about them changing the situation they see them going. They want healing. They want peace in their marriage. They're depressed. They're suicidal. They're whatever. They got a tragic situation going on. And all they want somebody to do is, all you can do is cry with them. That's what they want. And so we have to understand as the body of Christ now that love is what I want to discuss. And my discussion is this. If we agree with Jesus Christ, the superior one, if we can agree that He is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and that His blood covers all of our sins, no matter what side of trash you're from, no matter what brain you have, then we can get somewhere and we can change the world. Because until we understand the primacy, and the number one thing is love. And that love, the Bible tells me, covers a multitude of sins. And the love tells me that the greatest gift of all is love. And we have to understand that love is the key. Because this generation that I'm speaking of, the civil rights generation, loved us enough to change the world. And the beauty of it, it was the greatest generation ever, because it was a generation that changed the world through a revolution, but it wasn't with guns and bullets. It was with the power of love. So looking at history, the greatest, the only revolution in history that changed lives is love. Let's go back to the American Revolution. Guns. Let's go back to the Civil War. Guns and bullets. People got killed. Look at the Civil Rights generation. They changed society. They changed the destiny of people's lives through the power of love, led by a preacher from Georgia, who's the only non-president who has a memorial on the mall, National Mall in Washington, D.C. through love. He had no cabinet. He had no Secret Service. He had Jesus in his heart and inspired the world through love, the power of love. It changed our lives. It's the greatest revolution in the world. So we have to understand that civil rights are good, and that's fine. But civil rights is something we got to go run around and beg somebody for. But human rights, humanity, are given from God. And therefore, because they come from God, I don't have to ask a man for them. They're inherited by being a human being, by a creature created by God, by being born on this earth. I have a right as a human being to live. I have a right as a human being for life. I have a right as a human being to protect my life. I have the right as a human being to have the opportunity of life. As a human being, we don't have to beg nobody for rights. This is our human rights. And we as a church body, we as preachers, we as leaders, we must stand up for humanity. That was really what Trayvon Martin was about. It wasn't about, it was about a young black man got shot. Beyond that, he was a human being. And we have to understand that human beings are the key. Human beings used to be on the back of the bus because of the color of their skin. Human beings used to couldn't go to college because of the color of their skin. But this generation, they sacrificed everything. They said, no, we're human beings. We have every right to do what anybody else can do. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's what we got to understand.